Week 16 in the NFL's here. How you darn? Starting out with a heater of a Saturday night. Raiders, Dolphins, Fitz fucking magic.
I feel shocked.
How are ya? I mean, the guy is a legend. Comes into the game late in the fourth quarter, leads his team to a win in an unreal fashion too. Raiders, unreal playing cover 3. You guys absolutely killed it. Why are you covering the underneath routes when clearly he just went over the top on you? But, I mean, Fitz magic. Guy's helmet's getting twisted to the side. He's got a finger in his eye, and he drops a dime on the sidelines to win in a field goal. So that was a crazy game. Hats off to Brian Flores. Shout out. He was an ex-Pats coach, so kind of rooting for the guy. And obviously Fitz magic when you get the screw job. You're killing it all year, and they just sit you for Tua out of no, just on a whim. I'm really pulling for the guy. So should be a little interesting QB controversy. So I can't wait to see what happens going forward. Now, on to my fantasy team. We got dismantled last weekend as we hit a buzzsaw. The kid's probably going to win the championship this year because the last 2 weeks, every player has like 25 plus points. So really can't beat a team like that when they're that hot. Just sucks because I was on an absolute heater, really turning it around. Put a little more time into my team, a little less time on production. Now, on to some must starts. If you checked out this week, I put out a list of my must starts for week 16, starting with Tom Brady. Sniped it. If anyone tuned in, Detroit Lions, you had to know that game was going to be an absolute fucking bloodbath. Detroit Lions lost all their coaching staff, so when it's just the players out there coaching themselves, that's what you get. You get pumped. Tom hangs 40 on you by halftime, and he doesn't even suit up for the rest of the game. So that was my must start at quarterback. You're welcome. Hopefully you guys took that advice. And my running back, Leonard Fournette, he was on my must start. Unreal game, per usual. You had to know they were just going to run the ball. Usually when it's towards the end of a season like that and your team's basically out of playoffs, guys quit. That's nothing new. I mean, guys quit all the time. So especially in that sport where it's as violent as it is, injuries happen at a higher rate. So why risk it? You make more money extending your contracts and signing your next deal. So that was just a recipe for disaster. Almost too easy to call. But, you know, that's why we're a fantasy pro. And everyone else is tuning in. But, yeah, definitely check out my must starts weekly, Thursdays. Try to help you out this fantasy season moving forward. Get that championship that I didn't have. On to one of my more favorite segments, Start or Sit. We go down the line of some favorite matchups, real tough ones, and we like to pick out who to start or sit. Starting with Ben Roethlisberger and Phillip Rivers. This one is a tough matchup. Big Ben, he's terrible, and it shows. I wasn't buying the Pittsburgh Steelers hype train, so hats off to myself and the Parlay Professor. We were telling you all season, don't buy the Pittsburgh Steelers hype train. That's all false promises, and now you're seeing that the wheels are falling off. I mean, Juju Smith can't even dance on logos anymore, so that sucks. Really enjoyed that. I thought that was stupid. But, you know, TikTok, you have fun on there. Yeah, have fun in there. You and those cat videos. Have a good time. But who will I pick? I'm going to go Phillip Rivers. I think he could get the job done today. I think Bill had big Ben Roethlisberger has a lot of turnovers, and I just see that Colts defense just picking them apart. And I see the Steelers falling apart per usual, as they always do at the end of the year. And no one blames Mike Tomlin, so that's neither here nor there. But yeah, Phillip Rivers all day, every day over Big Ben. Steelers are done. See ya. All right, Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell. I like this. Atlanta versus the Chiefs. I'm going to go with Todd Gurley. My reason why is every offensive coordinator thinks that the best defense is to not have Patrick Mahomes on the field. So every OC loves to run the ball, thinking they're geniuses if they just milk the clock, but people forget Kansas City has a pretty decent defense, and Patrick Mahomes is unreal. Okay, the guy only needs like a minute 30 and he can score at any time. So I think it's a terrible strategy, but that being said, I do think they're going to use Todd Gurley a lot, and I expect some big runs. He's probably going to get like a greasy goal line touchdown. So, yeah, Todd Gurley over Lev Bell. Tyler Lockett versus Cooper Kupp. Rams versus Seattle. This is basically a pick 'em in gambling. I'm going to have to go with Tyler Lockett. I got more faith in Russ Wilson than I do in Jared Goff. Jared Goff stinks. Playbook's out on him. Okay, Sean McVay is playing a Madden-style QB quarterback here where he controls them, tells them where to throw the ball. If Jared Goff has to make decisions on his own, it's a nightmare, okay? No faith that he can get the ball to Cooper Kupp. I have a little faith that Tyler Lockett could get open on that Rams defense. So, Tyler Lockett over Cooper Kupp, market. Dallas Dalton Schultz, Eagles versus Philly. I love this one. Gambling has this at a -3 for the Eagles. And I'm going to have to roll Eagles as well. I just have a little more faith in Jalen Hurns than I do in Andy Dalton. I think that Hurns likes to use the tight ends, especially as rookies. Rookies love tight ends. You know why? Check down. It's safety. It's the safety net. You can run the 4 verts, have that tight end curl just like you did in Madden way back when. You know you're rocking that Hail Mary, just throw to the running back for grease yards. But, yeah, I think that's what Jalen Hurts is going to do. I think he's going to use his tight end a lot more than Andy Dalton. Both tight ends are pretty favorable because their defenses are trash. So you could go either way on this one. I don't think they get that many points, but I do think Dallas Goedert wins over Dalton Schultz. So you got that one. On our DraftKings lineup, for this one, we like to do the Sunday Showdown. It's the Sunday games at 1 o'clock, and we'll just rifle off our list. Starting with quarterback Jalen Hurns, $7,000 versus Dallas. I like this. I like the potential that he could get a running touchdown, which makes it a dangerous play. And for the price, $7K, and a Dallas defense that's garbage, I love it. It's real juicy, looking real promising for him. All right, running back number 1, I got McKissick from the Washington football team. So J.D. McKissick has had a pretty good string of games here. I'm just going to ride the heat wave. I have a lot of faith that there's going to be a decent amount of checkdowns to him and some good running plays. And Washington's in a position where they need to win. So those guys are not going to be taking plays off. It's do or die time. You only got 2 games left. Let's go Buffalo. Just kidding. New England's going to beat them. But on to running back number 2, David Montgomery, Chicago Bears. I love it. They're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you're the Jaguars, why would you try? You're trying to get Trevor Lawrence. You want to solidify that. You don't want the Jets fucking that shit up for you. So I think they're just literally going to give up. And a guy like Montgomery is going to torch them. I could see him having 2 touchdowns today, no problem. But I thought that was an easy pick 'em. Wide receiver number 1, I'm going to go A.J. Green. Cincinnati Bengals play Houston. Although the game means literally nothing to both teams, I think this is a chance where defenses give up. And a guy like A.J. Green, they need to prove it. The guy needs money. His contract's kind of running up, and he's getting old. He needs options. So I see this one as a pad the stats type of game for a guy like him, so that way he can boost his contract monies. Yeah, so AJ Green, I love it. Wide receiver number 2, I got Darnell Mooney. Again, Jacksonville stinks. This is shaping up for a Mitch Trubisky, looks like an unbelievable quarterback. So let's not draft a quarterback next year. Chicago Bears style. Mwah! Classic Chicago Bears style. So I think like a guy like Darnell Mooney, riding this heat wave into Jacksonville. Got to go with the hot hand. Seems like a no-brainer, especially because last week he had 16.5 points. And Jacksonville, again, if I haven't said it enough, stinks. All right, wide receiver number 3, Jalen Reagor. No-brainer here, playing Dallas. Dallas is garbage. Defense, garbage. Philly's in a position where they need to win, and Philly usually has Dallas's number in these situations. So I love it. I love everything about it, and I can see Jalen Hurts finding him early and often. The guy's a weapon, and he gets a couple looks on special teams, which you never know. You could take that one to the house. That's 6 points right there. How you darn? All right, tight end. I got Travis Kelce. Kansas City versus Atlanta. That's a no-brainer. I mean, Patty Mahomes, he's going to find them all day. I have zero confidence that he'll not show up to this game. So, Patty Mahomes is pretty expensive. Obviously, I would love to go with him, but for the prices, not really worth it if you want to have a decent lineup. But I can take some of his weapons away. Travis Kelce, I love, and Atlanta sucks at covering tight ends. So, perfect recipe for me. And my flex spot, I got Todd Gurley the second. If you haven't heard, there's 2 of them. The second. I've never seen the first Todd Gurley. But, yeah. Atlanta, Kansas City, you know the deal. Offense coordinators, they think they're geniuses. They think, oh, okay, we'll just run the ball, milk the clock out, we'll keep Patty Mahomes on the other side of the field. Yeah, I think they already know that game plan by now. Great job, geniuses. So, I think Todd Gurley gets some greasy goal line touchdowns today, and he probably gets like 75 yards on the ground. But it's like a situation where they just keep running it to just milk the clock, so it's not 75-0. But, yep. And then last but not least, defense. I'm going to go with the Browns versus the Jets. No-brainer here. Browns, you guys got to keep winning to stay alive. And the Jets are garbage, okay? 2 games left in the season. You knew you screwed up that first overall pick. What are you going to do? You're going to try to get as close to that first overall pick as possible. So I expect them to lose the next 2 games from here on out. And the Browns, they need this, and I think they clean up today. Sam Darnell, sorry, bud. That's going to be a tough day. Gambler in the world, but I think I can use a lot of logic in this with my fantasy knowledge because, you know, I am a fantasy guru, not a big deal. And I can apply it to a little bit of gambling. So my first pick, Bears versus Jacksonville, minus 7.5. Gonna go with the Bears on this one. Easy. I just think Jacksonville, you want to make sure you solidify that number 1 pick. So it's going to be a bloodbath, and this is a type of game that Mitch Trubisky needs. Or even if Nick Foles gets in, it's always a prove it for those two because there's such quarterback controversy, and they really don't know what the future holds. Those guys are going to ball out, and it's Jacksonville. They're giving up. Perfect recipe. I think they hang at least 10 plus on the Jags. How you darn? All right, Browns versus Jets. I'm going to go with the Browns at minus 7. For the Browns, they have to keep winning from here on out for their playoff hopes, so this is a big one. Jets, you're terrible. You got 2 games left. Why try? For all those guys, you don't want to risk an injury. You want to have a fun off season. It's the worst being in crutches or in a fucking boot. So they're going to mail it in early. Browns need this one bad. I expect some couple picks here. I think they hang at least 13 on them. So Colts versus Steelers. This one's actually a pick 'em, which is pretty wild. I'm going to go with the Colts at +1. I got no faith in Big Ben. I think this Colts defense is secretly pretty decent. They're going to pick them apart and just dismantle the Steelers. Big Ben and that noodle arm, okay? Pitchers barely recover from Tommy John, so why would a quarterback do any better? So it's a pick 'em though, so you can't really go wrong either way. But yeah, I think the Colts are gonna put a little smackdown on the Steel City. Rams versus Seahawks. I'm gonna go with the Rams +1. Zero faith in Jared Goff, but that Rams defense is pretty scary. I think they kind of shut down Russ Wilson's weapons, and the Seahawks defense is terrible. So it really is probably just going to come down to a touchdown, my guess. I don't see a field goal happening. I see a touchdown. This is a pick 'em. So seems like an easy play with the Rams. +1. How you doing? Eagles versus Dallas. I'm going to go with the Eagles at -3. Eagles, they got to start winning games if they want to make the playoffs. So Dallas stinks. Their defense stinks. I think Jalen Hurts carves them up today. So that's a pretty easy one. I could see at least 7+ on that. So easy money there. Then last but not least, Packers versus Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go with the Packers at -3. I think this is a game that Aaron Rodgers really exposes that secondary in the Titans. I think Devontae Adams has a huge game. He was another must start for Week 16. So if you missed that, definitely check it out. Toss him in your lineup if you have it. I see Aaron Rodgers at least getting 7+ on this team. So Packers -3, and that is the Parlay Professor's picks, brought to you by the assistant to the Parlay Professor. And that's the end of our show. Make sure you tune into the autodraftshow.com. Also, check out the Burger Bar. Use promo code BigTimeBurger for 10% off your next order. Excludes alcohol. Thanks for tuning in. And check out our Twitch stream. We have a new time starting at 9:30 on Tuesdays. So we had a pretty decent crowd last week. Looks to continue the fun, and maybe we'll win a Super Bowl. So stay tuned.